everybody, Erica Serwin here from Pinkbucker Designs. I've got a fun Christmas card for you today using the Christmas season bundle. The Christmas season bundle includes these amazing dies. We're going to use this smaller die right here, and I'm going to show you how to use these little slot dies. Sometimes we're like, what the heck are those? I'm going to show you how to use those. The sentiment is from the Christmas to Remember. You'll find both of these in the current 2021 Stampin' Up! Holiday Catalog. All right, well, let's get started. Let's do our stamping first. I've got basic white, and I'm going to bring over my foam mat because photopolymer stamps sometimes need a little cushion underneath, depending on your work surface. The counter where I normally stamp, I don't need to use that, but over here on this table, for some reason, it doesn't have a lot of give. And so I have to bring over a foam mat. You can use the mat from your Stamparatus, fun foam, piercing mat, whatever you have. All right, we're going to start. There are 2 layers to this pine cone, and I have found that stamping the top layer is the best one to do first. All right, so I'm going to stamp this pine cone 3 times in cinnamon cider. Now I'm going to take that bottom layer, cinnamon cider also. I'm going to stamp off, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to line that up and stamp it right over. Now, I have stamped this pine cone dozens of times, and I have found that there is no perfect lineup. I think it's meant to be an abstract, kind of a watercolor image, and so don't be too hard on yourself if you think yours isn't lining up perfect. When you look at the card, you don't really think, oh my gosh, those aren't exactly lined up. No, you look and say, look at those beautiful pine cones, okay? So don't be too hard on yourself. All right, now we're going to stamp that sentiment in real red. Have a holly jolly Christmas. It's hard to say that without singing the song. All right, we'll stamp that right in the middle of a basic white piece. And we'll bring over our cut and emboss machine. And we will cut these out. Let's do our pine cones first. We're going to have to run that through 3 times with our pine cone die. We've got 2 sizes of pine cones in this set. This is the smaller of the 2. So line that up, and you're going to go back through your machine, and then we will continue on over here. Let's do that second one. There we go. Whoops. So you got to keep an eye on it so it doesn't slip when you put that plate on it, which happens sometimes. Okay. There we go. And last, we'll do that last one. And while we're doing that one, we're also going to cut out our sentiment with that label shape. This is the 3rd smallest of those labels. I'm going to put that around. See, it's hard to make sure I'm straight. Well, I'd rather turn it this way. It's hard to see it sideways. Let's see. Get that on there. Very good. And carefully lay that down. All right, now while we have the cut and emboss machine over here still, we're going to put those little slots so we can get the ribbon to go through our sentiment. All right, so you've got 2 choices, and I think the bigger ones are too big for this piece. So I'm going to take these smaller ones, if I can get it off of my magnet sheet, and I'm going to lay that point right in that little bubble right there, okay? Now it looks like it's going to cut that word, but it is not. Down here it might cut a little bit of the tail of the Y, but it'll be all right. All right, so get those there. You can use some tape, some Post-it tape to hold those in place if you're worried about them moving at all. Okay. Very carefully lay your plate down. And let's see how we did. These dies are small, so be careful. Look at that. Very good. All right, so be sure that as soon as you're done, you put them back where they go. I am notorious for losing those tiny dies. Now we'll bring over our beautiful Christmas season designer series paper. I've got 2 pieces. The measurements will be over on a free PDF on my blog, so make sure you click the link here on YouTube to go over there and grab that free PDF. Okay, now I'm going to grab my ribbon. This is the, let me tell you the official name, Fine Art Ribbon from the annual catalog. And we're going to wrap that around to the back. And we're going to take this and go through that way. And then we're going to go back through that way. Okay, like that. Now we need some dimensionals. Let's see where my dimensionals. We got to hold that little label in place. So I'm going to flip that over and put dimensionals on either side of that ribbon. Like that, okay? Now, let's get it centered right there. Pull your ribbon, and we're gonna need to cut it. And we'll tie that bow right here on the edge. Now, take your ribbon and turn it so that it lays flat, okay? Like that. And then tie your bow. You could also do just a knot here if you wanted. If you want to have less bulk on your card, you can just knot it. But I'm a bow girl. I like the bows. I'll pay the extra postage for sure. All right. Now, it feels like maybe it's still a little bit too big. Let's pull those and see. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut a little bit more of that. Cut those at an angle, and there you have it. All right, now bring over your 3 little pine cones, and we'll start with the one in the middle. Kind of tuck those back behind there like that. And then we're going to put this one, we're going to slide it behind like that. And last but not least, number 3, and we'll slide that one back behind there as well. Let's move that down just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. All right, I have a garden green card base and another piece of that beautiful designer series paper. Put that on there. And some dimensionals. Put that right in the center. And then on the end side, I want to make the inside of my card a little bit fancy. So I'm going to take those same pine cones, and I think I'll put one here and maybe one up here. And then we will get, I forgot my foam mat, didn't I? We will stamp off. And we'll add that there. And that there. And then I have these larger berries. And I think I'll just put some like that and like that. That also makes you have less room to write. And if you're like me, you don't want to write a whole lot. You want the card to speak for itself. All right, put that in, and there you have it. A beautiful Christmas card with pine cones. I love the pine cone image for Christmas. I think it's so beautiful. All right, click the link here on YouTube. Go back to my blog. Check that free PDF and the 2 other Christmas season projects. Thanks, everybody. Merry Christmas.